Yo, what's going on, guys? So when I make a nuke video, I like to walk you guys through it. I like to give you tips and tricks and kind of like make it as easy to understand as possible so that you guys can try and get a nuke for yourself. So I thought, why not make a video alone talking about how exactly to get a nuke and explain every little detail that I possibly can so that you guys can actually try and get a nuke for yourself. So that's what we're going to be doing in today's video. I'm going to try and explain everything that I can think of so that next time you guys go and play, you can use all these tips I'm about to give you and hopefully get yourself a nuke. So before I talk about the gameplay, I'm going to talk about settings real quick. I'm going to leave some screenshots here now, so if you do want to take my settings, just go ahead and pause the video, but I'm going to talk about them right now. So the controls that I am playing is stick and move, which basically means you can use your right analog stick to jump shot. You could also use tactical, which means you can use your right analog stick to drop shot. And the reason why that is really good, in my opinion, is because you're not taking your thumb off your right analog stick, meaning while jumping or while drop shotting, you can stay on target. So that's what I'm using for my controls. I also wanted to mention my vibration is off, and whenever I turn it on, it's just really annoying. Probably because I haven't played with vibration on in ages, but I feel like using vibration off and getting used to it is actually very helpful. My ADS sensitivity is set to 8. It's not too slow and it's not too fast to the point where I can't aim. It's fast enough so I can turn on people, so I think 8 is a really good one. My ADS sensitivity is 0.8, makes it easier to aim. Motion blur, all of it is turned off because it just makes the game look horrible, in my opinion. And my field of view is set to 95. I don't mess about with all the advanced stuff and all that stuff like that. So, yeah, that's just what I'm using. So, that is the settings. So, if you want to try any of those out, maybe it'll make your gameplay better, then go for it. But anyway, we're going to talk about the actual gameplay now. So, hopefully, these tips I'm about to give you might make the way you play the game a little bit better. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is positioning. Positioning is actually a very important one. You want to be putting yourself in as good of a position as you can to the enemy so that you have a massive advantage on them. If you have a good advantage on them, then you have quite a good chance of getting a good kill streak. So let me tell you exactly how you do that. So you want to be figuring out where the enemies are coming from. And to do that, you need to look at your mini-map and see where your teammates are on the map. When you can see where your teammates are on the map, you can kind of get an idea where they're going to be spawning from or just where they're going to be coming from. So you can pre-aim and they'll be walking into your sights and you'll be getting nice, easy kills because you will be in a good position. So your aim basically is you want to be putting yourself at a huge advantage, whatever it may be. Maybe you'll be in a head glitch, maybe you'll be camping in a really OP spot. Anything you can do to put yourself at a good advantage, that's what you want to be trying to do. When you're challenging, you want to be trying to jump shot, drop shot, do everything in your power to try and get the kill. Maybe aim high so you can get a nice easy headshot on them. Just do everything you can. Another little tip as well for challenging. Let's say you've just run around the corner, but before you got around that corner, somebody made you one shot in the back and they seemed quite close, then they are most likely going to chase after you. So what you could do is you could turn around and go back around the corner pre-aiming, and you're most likely to get that kill because that guy's going to be charging towards that corner to try and finish you off. So his gun's going to be down and you can get a nice easy kill. That's usually what I like to do when I run around the corner and I get made one shot. So another thing for positioning is camping. I know it's frowned upon and nobody likes it, blah blah blah, but camping is always a really good thing to do. Like if you want to get a nice easy, like really high kill streak, camping with a really overpowered assault rifle or a marksman rifle or an LMG is actually like a really good idea if you want to get a nice streak. So definitely consider camping, like depending on what map it is. Maybe if you're using SMG though, maybe it'd be a good idea to run around, put some nice attachments on it and just run and gun. I literally have friends that are just way better than me when it comes to gunfights, and they would beat me any day in a 1v1, but the thing is, they would never ever get a nuke, and they never have got a nuke, and that's because their positioning is just really bad. They ego challenge everything and they'll just never be able to get high kill streaks. So if you want to get a nice kill streak, even if you're really good, you want to position yourself really well. You want to take your time. Maybe if you can't handle too many people at the spawn, don't stand too close to their spawn. Stay a little bit back, let your teammates go in, be the bait, and just shoot over their shoulder and get some nice easy one shots. So yeah, just take your time basically. So one more thing I want to talk about for positioning is the objectives. So you can kind of figure out where they're coming from when you're playing objectives. Let's take domination for example. If you've got A and B and they've got C, then they're going to come from C, somewhere in that general area of the map. So it's quite easy to figure out where they're coming from. Hardpoint, a little bit different, but every time the hardpoint changes, there's going to be 2 more spawns, one for your team and one for the enemy team. If you can learn where the spawns are, then that's going to put you at a big advantage as well. So a lot of it actually does come to learning, like map knowledge and all that kind of stuff. But once you've learned it and you know the spawns, when the hardpoint switches, you can get ready to get in a good position for the enemy spawn. So I think that does it for positioning. I hope I've covered everything on that subject. But let's move on to the next one, and that is learning how to use your radar properly. So as I talked about in the last in positioning, you can basically use your teammates to figure out where they're coming from. So basically, empty parts of the map means most of the time that's where the enemy's going to come from. So you as long as you can read your radar and understand that, if you see an empty part of the map and you don't know where the enemies are coming from, then most likely they're going to be coming from that empty part of the map. So you always remember that. So if you can read your radar properly, you can use it to look what your teammates are doing. So if you're covering like an area of the spawn or something and you're worried about your back, then look at your radar. Is your team covering your back? See if they've got like a pathway that an enemy could get you by. If they're looking down that pathway, then your back is covered. Also, you can check to see if your teammates' arrows disappear, meaning that your teammate's just been killed, so you know where enemies are. So if you look at your radar, see a teammate die on your minimap, then you can by looking at that, you can figure out where the enemies are. So that's also another good way to read your radar. Also, another thing that you can look at when you're, let's say, camping in the spawn and popping off, make sure you are looking at any like empty pathways that could lead the enemies back to you. Maybe your teammates aren't covering it, or maybe your teammates are on the other side of the map. Just make sure you're always watching your flank on your mini-map. If no one's covering it, then there's always a good chance an enemy's coming behind you. So always use your map to see if the other lanes of the map are covered. So if they are covered, then obviously your back is covered. But if they're not covered, then someone could be trying to flank you. So always keep that in mind. So the last thing for being able to read your radar is the advanced UAV. If you can't read your radar properly, then learn, because otherwise you're going to really struggle in between that 12 to 20th kill streak. Usually getting from 12 to 20 is quite easy because you can get your advanced UAV and you can see exactly where they are on the minimap. And like usually I just stare at the minimap until I can see someone close and then I actually pay attention. But that's usually how I play. But if you can read your radar and you can understand the UAV, then boom, easy. You can get to a 20, 25 kill streak, and then all you have to worry about after that is a very nerve-wracking 5 or 10 kill streak. So that's all I have to say about the radar. So hopefully that helps. So the last main thing I want to talk about is spawns. So spawns basically ties into radar and positioning, because you want to get yourself in a good position and want to make good use of your radar to be able to put yourself in that good position, so that you can kind of keep them spawning in one area of the map, so that you can keep on getting nice easy kills because you've got them locked in a certain spawn. So using your radar to get into the position and using a good position to stay in that position, and then using that to like spawn trap them. You're not like actually shooting the spawns and making it unfair, but keeping them in a certain corner of the map to get yourself a nice easy kill streak. So that's what I mean. Do you want to try and do that? So I'm going to assume if you're going for a nuke, you're going to want to play domination, hardpoint, headquarters, something like that, an objective game mode. You don't want to play kill confirm, you don't want to play TDM, you don't want to play anything that has no set spawn or like an objective that everybody spawns near. If you've got like TDM, you won't be able to predict where they're coming from very well, so it's going to be quite hard, especially with TDM as well and kill confirm. There's no objective, no one has to do anything, they just sit there and they don't bother moving. So it's pretty boring. As long as you have a good objective game mode, then people will move and you can actually predict where they're coming from. So I'm going to assume you're playing domination and hardpoint. We've already spoke about that, but I'll just say domination, make sure you've got a home flag, make sure they've got a home flag. That way you know where they're coming from. Hardpoint, you'll have to learn the spawns of each hardpoint, but once you've got it down, you can easily get yourself in a good position and start popping off. One thing I need to mention about domination, or anything with a set spawn, the spawns can flip. So let's just say there's a line in their spawn, and if you cross that line, then they will flip. So you need to figure out basically in every map where that line is and when it's going to flip. So that is everything I wanted to say about spawns, radar and positioning. They're all pretty much as important as each other, so as long as you can nail those down and get them spot on, then I'm pretty sure you'll have no problems getting a nuke. But I did want to talk about a few more things just to help you out a little bit. So let's say when you're pre-aiming a corner, you want to make sure your aim is exactly where it needs to be. Don't drift off to the wall or don't aim around the corner at the floor or something like that. In your head, picture exactly where you want to aim, exactly where the pathway is. You want to be aiming down where the enemy could be. So exactly when you come around the corner, your aim can be exactly on the enemy, so you have no problems picking up that kill. So another thing I want to mention as well is the footstep audio is so fucking loud in this game, so dead silence might be a good idea to use. And as long as you're using headphones as well, it can be basically a 50-50 if you're sound whoring each other. But when you get dead silence, you can basically destroy everyone because you can sound whore them. So yeah, definitely use dead silence. Maybe use ammo box as well, because you can use 2 field upgrades. So 2 more things I wanted to say as well, and that is there's 3 stages of a streak. Okay, this is how I like to think of it anyway. You've got the 1 until 12 when you get your advanced UAV. That's basically, you're going to die many times in that, but as long as you can play it slow and get to that 12 kill streak, as soon as you get that 12 kill streak, you call your advanced UAV in, you can pop off. You should get to at least a 20 kill streak then, because you can, I think it's like a minute and a half the advanced UAV is up for, so you should be able to get at least 8 kills. And then you'll be at the end of your streak there, shitting yourself. Just take it really slow at that point, and hopefully you'll be able to get the last 10 kills or however many you need. And that basically comes into the next thing I was going to say as well, and that's just be patient. Don't run out, don't rush out, don't do anything stupid. Just take it slow, just sit in your head glitch or whatever, camp, it doesn't really matter. Just take it slow. Don't sit in the same spot too much, because obviously they'll come back and get an easy kill on you, but just be patient about it. Don't rush out into the spawn, stuff like that. Especially if you're not that skilled, just take it very slow. And one more thing is, cherry pick your lobbies, because obviously if you see a bunch of people in your lobby with Orion, obviously they're going to be quite sweaty and you've got absolutely no chance. So just leave that lobby and try and find a new one. That's basically what I do, because obviously if there's a good player in the lobby, you've got absolutely no chance. Yeah, so I think that is the end of the video now. I don't think I've got anything else I need to say. I hope this does help you out, and if you have, for some reason, made it this far in the video, and you've actually listened to me ramble on this whole time, then wow, fair play to you. Fair play to you, my friend. And I hope this honestly does help you out, and I honestly hope you guys can go and get a nuke from this. And let me know, actually, what you think of this video, and what you think of this commentary, because I'm not too sure about it. I've not made a video like this before, but I'm very curious to see what you guys think. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.